when people watch this film, if they're triggered any kind of way, what about it is triggering?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because isn't that what we're talking about anyways? Like, the white side or the black side, they're triggered by different ways.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And something, okay, that's what we're trying to talk about, right? The things that may be triggering to each audience member.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, like, either validating that or challenging that or just being curious about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing, is being curious about it.
Okay.
Is asking questions and trying to evaluate, like, okay, what is it that I'm feeling, and what is it that you're seeing about me, or whatever, you know, what is it that is, what first is it triggering inside, and then how is that perceived outwardly?
Okay, how does it show up in my behavior? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
And how I interact with people?
Yeah. Because if you're triggered, you normally are showing that you are triggered in some type of way. Yeah, I am familiar with, like, law enforcement. And having close people that I love in law enforcement.
Okay.
And knowing how the Black community views police officers. And so it's this weird dilemma, again, kind of like being biracial, of having, you know, your Black community, your Black friends, and then also having people that you love in law enforcement.
Yeah, that's a super hard place to be. I don't even know what that would be like. Yeah.
And I mean, those are my in-laws. That's not even, I didn't even grow up with that. It's just, you know, ever since I've known them, it was kind of this, like I think it's really cool. But not a lot of people think that that's really cool anymore. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, especially the Black community.
Yeah.
It's not really cool.
Yeah.
But, I mean, one thing I wanted us to think about too is, like, you know, how the Black community sees police, or in the other direction. Like, how would you describe that? Because I feel like what comes to mind for me, you know what I mean? Because we talked about earlier, people don't know, or they're not, you know, whatever, right? How can we describe that? For example, for me, I think of, like, as a threat, right? I feel like the Black community sees police in general as a threat.
Yeah.
Would you agree to that, or?
Yeah. I think a threat is a good word. I think also just like bad people, like they are
evil
dirty. They they don't have good intentions. They're not trying to serve the people. They're out for themselves and this and that.
I don't know, I just feel like, I think that's, again, I think we assume that people understand that idea at this point in time.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
And is that the truth, right? Is it...
is that fact?
Yeah.
Like, is that true? But at the same time, what is this dynamic anything other than perception? Right? Right? Because fact, you're here to serve and protect. Okay? Okay? We got people out there doing that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, right? If those who you are serving don't see you as a safe place, then you're not. Is that too much to say? Like, does that not ring true to you?
No, I think that that's very true. I think, I mean, it's tough to say, right? But it's.
I don't know. I don't want to, sound like I'm not giving credit to those who are doing a good job and doing it right, and for sure. I don't know. It's like who's to blame? And I think that's what we're talking about. So I think both sides have to take responsibility, and like we're saying earlier, like not taking things too, like, being too sensitive about certain things, like taking time to actually think about things. But I don't know. Like I said, I just think if the Black community doesn't feel served and protected, I think it's on. I think the majority of the weight, I think, is on the police or that community to do what it takes to make sure that they're doing all that they can do. And if they're not, you know what I mean? Do all that you can do to make that community feel loved, protected, seen, honored, respected.
Yeah.
And then leave it there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Black community, same, right? Putting in effort, extending a hand, reaching, leaning in, being forgiving, right? To allow themselves to be served. Yeah.
That's huge. Yeah. I think it takes too in a lot of these conversations that we're having is like it takes both people to make a difference. And start with one person. It doesn't have to be this huge change of how you see the majority, but just start with one person. Trust one person. And I think
it'd be daunting to think about the entire system.
Yeah.
And we've talked about before, it's almost hopeless to think about it.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know how we're ever going to heal that many hearts and that many relationships.
You think about, like, police, and how they're viewed. That's one thing, but the entire system and how it's broken and how it was made to be broken and all these things, because it wasn't built on the all people in mind. It wasn't. So if you think that, you're wrong. And if you are hoping that it was, it's not. So to think that, it was just like built to serve the people, it wasn't. And so I think that we have a long way to